Hello, good evening. My name is Tabs, and welcome to episode 63 of the Grove podcast. I hope you're all doing well and getting ready for the festive season. And about to tell me how his festive season is going so far is Ian. How are you? Are you nearly done for the year, and have you got all your presents sorted?
Hi Tabs, yeah, I'm good. I have one more day left on work tomorrow, and my God, I can't wait. It's been a long year. Do I have all my presents? Oh hell no! I've a hectic weekend ahead of me, but I'll get there in the end. I'll get there.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. What are we today? It's the
The
what are we
19th.
today? The 19th. So there's plenty of that. Five and a half days left. So you're good. And
I'll be
petrol
okay.
stations stay open 24/7. So worst come to
Very,
the worst.
very large bars of dairy milk are very good Christmas presents. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. Oh, good to see. Okay, so anyway, so look in the show, part one, we'll go over last night's fun 3-2 Carabao Cup victory against Crystal Palace with the Christmas miracle that was Jesus' hat trick, and in part two, it's small Palace. Feel like we're kings and queens here. But anyway, as we look ahead to the weekend's fixture at Selhurst Park in the league, so and to see what will happen there. So as we do, Ian, I'll hand it over to you. What was your highlight and lowlight from the game yesterday?
I actually changed my highlight like in the last 10 minutes. My highlight of last night's game, and there were many, but my highlight was seeing my long lost brother Carl Jenkinson appear on screen. I just miss him so much, and I couldn't wait to see him. For the record, for people who don't know what that means, my surname is Jenkinson, and when he signed for us, it was the highlight of my life. I could finally get Jenkinson on the back of my jersey, and it was for real. Seeing him. My low light obviously was poor old Jakub Kiwior's mistake, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But yeah, that was my low light.
Your man made that mistake.
My man, he's letting me down, but yeah.
He is indeed. That's fine. We won in the end, so no harm done. For me, I had a couple of highlights. My hipster choice was Arteta pushing Kieran Tierney back on the pitch when he was injured to make sure he could make the sub. Is like, I thought that was very funny. Just like, shoved him back on to make sure he went down on the right side of the line, so they couldn't carry on play. But no, actually, my main highlight was Jesus' third goal. Unlike Monaco, I was actually out of my seat in expectation that he would score, and actually, I didn't have any doubt that he would score. I mean, he had a lot of space to run into, and he had a lot of time to think about it. But it was a fantastic way to finish off a fantastic hat trick. So that was really my highlight. My low light was. It was a bit of another lackluster first half. We'll get into it. It was just another one of those first halves where you sort of left wondering, and you're left sort of like a bit nonplussed, and just left a bit flat. I listened back to the last podcast. I must have said flat 100 times, and it was the same feeling again, and so it was just a shame to have to endure another one of those. But again, it all ended well, but still wasn't great. So look, in terms of like the team that we put out, so Raya, and then we had Partey, Timber, Kiwior, Tierney at the back, Nwaneri, Jorginho, Marino in the middle, and Sterling, Jesus, and Trossard up front. So we eventually see Kieran Tierney. He is alive.
He's alive.
He is alive. I was going to say alive and well, but that's never taken for granted. So he's alive, and given that he was buggered after 60 minutes, who knows what sort of state he's in, but I'm sure he's he's had all the ice baths and whatnot just to recover. So Katie got a start, Nwaneri got a start, another back four combination, and this time it looked very makeshift, than everyone else sort of as expected. So what were your thoughts on the lineup, and in terms of Arteta's approach, because there was some chat on the socials about Arteta maybe not taking it seriously, but did he have much choice? So what did you think when you saw that?
Well, I was surprised. I said on the last pod that I thought he was going to go quite strong because, it's the quarter final of a cup. But when I saw the lineup, I kind of understood it. I think his modus operandi yesterday was to like get rest into some players' legs, because obviously the priority is the Premier League and we need to pick up points. And we have a tough game away at Palace now as well, Saturday evening. And I think it was a case of start this team and like just even try and get in a half time, maybe at 0-0, or keep it very, very close, and then make the big subs that he did make, and kind of do what we did. So I thought there might have been kind of a little bit of brains being used in that he did get rest into players' legs. He knew it was going to be a very tight first half. That team, as talented as all those players are, they've never played together, and especially that back line, he knew it was a risk, but thankfully it worked out. The first half was a bit tepid, as we know, but his plan, I think, fell into place in the second half, and he brought on the big guns, and they just made all the difference.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think he made much choice, and also a lot of people complain that he doesn't rotate enough. So when he rotates, then people complain. I mean, you're never going to keep everyone happy.
You can't win. Yeah,
no, exactly. I don't think he had a huge amount of choice. I think Sterling, Jesus, Trossard was a given, and I think Nwaneri, Jorginho plus another was a given. Yeah, it's just that back line, but everyone wanted to see Tierney. We're going to play Kivior over Gabriel. It was just a very odd right-hand side of Partey and Timber. But again, it what it was. As I said, I don't think he had a huge amount of options going there, and there we go. I wasn't too worried. I think I said I was looking forward to seeing just a different group of players and seeing how they work together, and we saw it. So in terms of the overall game, again, it was another dominant performance. We had 70% of possession. We had 2 expected goals. We had 12 shots, 9 on target. We had 6 big chances. Missed 3 of them. Only the 4 corners. But again, we've seen this play out again so many times, and another dominant performance. What Mikel Arteta said on the performances. Look, I'm really happy. We're in the semi-final. The game started in a way that we certainly didn't want to, with a very simple goal, and then our team had to react, and I think we did it in a great way. Showed a lot of character, so much desire to turn things around. In the first half, we lacked some threat. We created 2 or 3 big chances, but didn't score. And with a few adjustments in the second half, we got a grip of the game again, and we looked a threat. And it was again another game of 2 halves with Arsenal. I can't remember the last time we put back to back, first and second halves. But yeah, dominant game. And again, Palace, they sat back. They were looking to play on the break, and didn't really offer much. And again, we got maximum punishment for minimum effort. Again, I mean, even though they had 8 total shots, 4 on target, I don't remember too much threat from them. So yeah, what were your thoughts? Actually, before we hit thoughts on the game, before the game, how were you feeling about this match? And I sort of posed the question on one of the group chats that I'm in, was, would you rather win the cup game or the league game? And so what were your thoughts pre-game about the importance of this match, and in comparison to what was going to take place on Saturday?
Yeah, my priority, if you asked me that question, I would have answered the league game. Look, I understand how important it is for this group of players to win a trophy, and when you get to a quarter final, you should take it seriously. But I think we have bigger fish to fry, and I wouldn't turn my nose up at a Carabao Cup win, but it's not the pinnacle of where we want to be. We want to be winning Premier Leagues, we want to be winning Champions Leagues, so that's why I wasn't overly worried or annoyed at the lineup. You could see where Arteta's priorities lay, even though he was obviously still taking the game seriously. He had all the big guns on the bench ready to go, but I would definitely have taken a league win over this. Now, hopefully, we just go and do both, and job's a good one. But yeah, they were kind of my thoughts on before the game. Yeah,
they're not mutually exclusive. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can be too picky, and in terms of this group, I think they need to feel winning something silverware. Now, okay, we've got a couple of community shields, which Arteta referenced in the week. I don't think they really count. It's a nice experience, a nice feeling, and I'm glad we win them and won them, especially against the likes of City and so on. But it's not the same. So yeah, we can't be too picky. And Whale from the Grove in the group chat said, actually, you know, we lose on Saturday, we can still win the league. You know, it gets harder, but we can still win the league. We lose last night, we can't win the cup.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, and I was actually thinking, you know what, I was taking a cup, and my eggs are in a bit in this cup basket. I mean, given what's going to happen in the semi-finals, it could be different. But yeah, so I was happy to take a hit on the league for this victory, but they're not mutually exclusive, and let's see if we can do the business on Saturday. So yeah, it's last night was a bit of a free hit, but in a way, I think it was important to win because we're in a bit of a funk at the moment, and I think maybe for the morale and for the likes of Jesus to get that hat trick, and it just lifts spirits up, and maybe these are these turning points in the season. Maybe that flag not going up for the second goal is a turning point in the season, that suddenly things start to go your way. You get momentum. You know, winning breeds winning, momentum, happiness. So actually, in a way, I think last night, and again, I'm going to quote Whale here, you know, this was the most important game until the next one, and so I think in a way, winning last night has bigger implications than I would suggest than just getting through to the semi final. Now I'm not going to get all excited and say, all right, it's back on and all the rest of it, but it's just these small things can make a difference, and suddenly that you can just sort of like, maybe you can rely on certain players, maybe things can change and so on. So I think it was a bigger game than just a quarter final, and in terms of how we turned it around and how we eventually won the game, I think that made a massive difference, and could potentially make a big difference beyond just the Carabao Cup.
It could. It's just going to sound absolutely crazy, and there'll be people shouting at their phones. But like last night, we're talking about last night. You had to win the cup, but last night could end up helping us win. Like, it could see us win the league with Jesus finding a bit of form. You know, you just never know where these wins can lead to. You often get these kind of what we think of as not innocuous games. Obviously, it was an important game, but games that aren't at the forefront of our thoughts. They end up kind of giving us that boost that we need, that just kicks us on in other competitions. So yeah, it was very important, I think. And as you said, we hadn't been great of late, especially in the last two league games. So yeah, and a very important win.
Yeah. So look, it was a fun win, fun in the end. Some redemption for the likes of Jesus. As I say, we're not going to get carried away. So what were your general thoughts just in terms of the overall performance and the game? And you know, we've touched on the result, but what were you, in terms of the performance and particularly the contrast between first and second? You know, how did you see that?
Yeah, again, as you pointed out, another slow kind of first half start, but it's no surprise, to be fair, when you look at the lineup that started, and as well that we've just been doing that lately anyway. It's amazing to see, because a lot of teams don't have the luxury of being able to put out a team, you know, that's fairly inexperienced, and you know, haven't played a lot of minutes this season. Go up against, by the way, a full strength Crystal Palace side, a Premier League full strength, in form Crystal Palace too, and go out and have a performance like that. So yeah, it's great to be able to see that we can turn it on when it's necessary. And yeah, it was great to see Kieran Tierney, who did so well, and Jesus obviously getting the hat-trick was huge for us as well. So overall, yeah, first half bit dodgy, but to be expected. Second half, big guns on, job done.
What was interesting actually, and when you compared the two teams, was Crystal Palace went full strength from the off. I think bar one 18-year-old debutant or the defender, they went big and big early, and it was the contrast was that we got stronger as the game went on, whereas they got weaker. And with that, what was interesting, well, so it was a start for Nwaneri, but actually this was a real insight. I think this was a good learning for Nwaneri, because he's played against Bolton, played against Preston, but then also come on towards the end of games where teams are flagging or fatiguing or stuff, things like that. So this is like a proper, I would say this is the closest he's going to get to actually what it's like to start in a Premier League game against Premier League level opposition who are fresh from the start. And you could tell in a way he couldn't impose himself as much as he has in other games, and I think it was a more challenging for him, and I'm not saying that's why he came off. I think Arteta made the changes just because we wanted to go up another level and think up, but I think it was really interesting for him as well. And then also just goes to show, look, and this is Crystal Palace, I think they're 16th in the league, so everyone, we know we've got a player there. We know he's going to do really, really well, and he's going to be a superstar for sure. But then this also goes to show, the Premier League is another level, and starting in a Premier League game is another level, and so on. So I think this was a brilliant experience for him, and a lot to learn. And he shows him, okay, yep, I know what I've got to do. I know where I've got to go to achieve this. So I think it was a good learning for him, good learning for Arteta.
Yeah, and good learning for us as well. That we need to. It's a reminder to us that we need to be patient with the likes of Ethan. And he's a very, very young kid still, and all your points are very well made. He last night will benefit him greatly. He just needs we just need to kind of take it easy with him as well.
Yeah. So no, overall, I think everyone. Again, we left happy. We get a win that way. Everyone leaves happy. I think the atmosphere again lifted again. I think things like Kieran Tierney playing. I think he got the biggest cheer of the night. I think even when his name was read out by the announcer, he got a massive cheer, and I think everyone loved to see him there. Look, we know his races run at Arsenal, and actually David Ornstein within 10 minutes. I mean, give the guy a break. 10 minutes after the game. Oh, by the way, he's not staying at the club anymore. Look, we know this. We know he's not long for the Arsenal, and he's not going to stay beyond the season. Could even go in January if someone can find a club to go to, or the money or whatever. So, but it's all like, let him enjoy his first appearance for Arsenal in how long. And Ornstein's already like putting the knife in. No. There you go, Arsenal fans. You enjoyed that for 60 minutes, but you're not going to enjoy it much longer. And what was interesting about him, he offered us something different. Now, I like the way we've moved on and the way we use our fullbacks, but he was a bit more old school, bombing down the left. But what that also meant was the likes of Trossard came a bit more in field, and we had a bit more internal attacking threat, and offered something. So Tierney was off in the width rather than the wingers off in the width. I don't think Trossard's a good width winger. I think he's better more inside the channels rather than on the wing as such. And he was intertwining with Jesus a lot. They were swapping a lot. So I think actually Tierney offered something different, and maybe he. We'll talk about the fixture list in January, the consequences of getting through to the semi-final. But having someone, and over Christmas, having someone like Tierney as an option, even just for 10 minutes, even just for a cup game or whatever, it's important. So, again, not going to get too carried away because we've been here before. Oh, great, this player's back, and then they're injured. Like, how many times with Tomiyasu, with Zinchenko? These are important players if they're fit. They say the best ability is availability. Yeah. So if he can stay available, he can offer us something. I'm not going to get too excited, but if he could stay fit, just to offer that option, if need be, then be great. But no, good for him. He was always going to come off after 60 or odd minutes, so, and I just hope that, there was no injury, and I think it's just like, I'm done. I'm tired. I need to go and have a bath.
You could see by him when he just hit the deck, and it was so funny. We'll probably talk about it. Was when Arteta, pushed him back onto the pitch to get him subbed off, and everybody thought he was injured, but you could see he straight away said you could lip read him nearly saying, "Yeah, I'm okay." But I don't. Well, hopefully it's not an injury. You never know, but I'd say he's fine. But it was magic to see him. It really was. I mean, we're all very fond of Kieran Tierney, and to see something different in that left back position, and you hit the nail on the head. It did allow Trossard to go with more infield, and I just hope he gets a few more minutes for us before he goes. I'm laughing at Ornstein. Like, not only were Kieran Tierney's muscles burning, his ears were burning straight after the game as well. Give him a break, Orn.
Well, maybe it's his agent talking and saying, "Hey, look, he can play 60 minutes. So anybody want a player for 60 minutes, then he's available."
60 minutes, 60 million for 60 minutes.
there we go, a bargain. So look, in terms of that first half, we said it's so below par first half. didn't really create a huge amount, but also Palace at full strength. We had a makeshift team. It's not surprising that it maybe took us a while to get going. Maybe we didn't get the rhythm going and so on. Again, Palace, they got the opening goal and then they felt like, well, we don't have to offer much threat, and they were basically long ball merchants, didn't really do much, and they were able to sit back and frustrate us. I think our right hand side, Partey, Timber, Sterling, Ranieri, didn't quite work. Partey and Timber. I think Timber was playing his right back role at centre back, so then Partey was playing his right back role, and they were sort of occupying similar spaces. Then maybe not giving options to Ranieri, and it was all a bit congested. Maybe not options there. So our left hand side was better, as we said, with what KT offered, and with J9 and Trossard, and Marino not overcrowding, just being an option. So again, lots of movement, not a lot happening. But the XG, we had 0.2, they had 0.22. Even though we had a lot of possession, we had 3 shots to their 5. Again, not a lot happened. So we go through the moments. So you got the Mateta goal after 3-4 minutes. What happened to Kivior?
I know, poor old Ballon de Kivior is slowly taking the trophy off him at the moment. But look, Kivior does this where he makes a mistake. He has a clanger in the game, but then other than that, like, he's quite solid. He's quite decent. But we can't afford to have those clangers because it's costing us goals. It's not the first one this season. Like, he was weak in the header. I don't know. I don't think he was muscled off the ball for the header. I just think he mistimed that. But then after that, when the ball went through, he was completely out-muscled by Mateta. Like, Mateta's like a big guy, but still, that's what you go to the gym for, Jakub. So you need to be stronger in that situation. And Mateta shouldn't have even been allowed to get a shot off. But to be fair to Mateta, he did. He held him off and he got his goal. But it wasn't pretty by Kivior, to be fair.
No, and I think it was perfect for what Palace wanted. Oh, wow, we're 1-0 4 minutes, and Arsenal can't score. So yes, we're job done. This is the second time now. It's a very similar goal to like the Jimenez goal in terms of he really was covering his near post, but maybe he left his far post. So I don't know. Do you think Raya could have maybe done a bit better? Then I don't know. Maybe he wasn't set because of his positioning. He was backtracking. I don't know. It just felt like there was a lot of room for Mateta to shoot into. Again, is he overcompensating for the Wan-Bissaka goal? And now the near post is massively covered, but the far post maybe too much.
Yeah, my instinct when it happened was that it wasn't great by Raya. It was exactly the same, as you said, as the Fulham goal, and Mateta had a big kind of space to aim for. The first thing the goalkeepers are trained for is to close down your angles, and yes, as you say, he closed down the near post, but the far post was wide open, and maybe it's a bit harsh, but it has to be mentioned too, that he wasn't ideal in that situation, which is a shame. Like, he's been so good for us, and I fear. I'm not even going to say. I was going to say I fear something happening, but no, I'm not going to wish that into our.
No, I think it's just fine tuning one of these things to work on in the training ground. I'm sure they'll be analysing, but then. I'll say it was all Arsenal, but not a lot. So on 10 minutes, Jesus had a shot, but it was easy for the keeper to save. On the 11 minutes, from a Trossard corner, Lima cleared off the line. Then soon after, Trossard had a shot from the edge of the box, set up nicely by Sterling. But one of those ones, got to get your head over the ball. Instead, he's sort of leaning back and it goes high and over. 15 minutes, Sarr had a shot. So again, a chance for Palace, but that was from the Jesus mistake. So again, it's us giving the opportunities to Palace, and Raya made a comfortable save. And then the closest we got to, the second closest we got to score, Sterling with a really nice free kick from the left edge of the box. It was a great save, going in under the bar. But Henderson, I think that's the keeper, did well to save it. I think you'd expect him to save it, but it looked good all round. So we were struggling a bit. I mean, Palace had us where they wanted to a certain extent. They could very easily play their game, play on the break, and so on. But my overriding thought from that first half was I couldn't see where a goal was coming from. We'd experienced the Fulham game, experienced the Everton game, experienced that first half, I was really struggling to see with that lineup as it was, with the formation, with Timber centre back, Partey right back, Ranieri doing his best but not being able to impose himself in the game. I was really struggling to see where we were going to get a goal from, and I think Arteta noticed that and noticed we needed to do something different. And so second half, he made a couple of subs. Again, you got to feel sorry for Ranieri coming off, but I think it was the right thing. Odegaard comes on, and then Partey comes off, and Saliba comes on. And I think Partey is at the moment, especially for a game like today, like managing his time. So like half a game, fine, keep yourself ticking over, but you don't need to play the full 90. Saliba coming in means Timber can go in his best position. Odegaard is just an upgrade on Ranieri, and he was the difference. So what were you pleased to see that? What were you expecting in the second half? How were you feeling post first half, and what were you expecting second half?
Yeah, I wasn't overly worried because even though Palace were causing us a couple of issues, and you're always worried that Kivior or somebody would make a big mistake again, but I knew I had comfort, or I felt comfort in who we had on the bench, and I knew it could kind of only get better. I'm not saying that I could see the 3 goals and a Jesus hat-trick coming in, praise the Lord, but I did think that we were going to get ourselves back into the game. And once I saw Odegaard come on, and Ranieri did well, did nothing wrong. Like, he wasn't amazing, obviously, but as we spoke, but Odegaard just changed it, and Partey going off, and Timber going onto the right hand side. That was my kind of highlight of the second half. Apart from Odegaard, obviously he was fantastic, but Timber going on that right hand side just made that whole right side connect again. Him, Odegaard, and Sterling, who I thought, by the way, Sterling had a really good game. I was very impressed by him, and you kind of scratch your head to say, why hasn't he been even getting 10 minutes in other games? It's kind of an unusual situation there, but I could see goals coming, but you have to still go and do it, and thankfully our saviour did.
Yeah, well, I was hoping we weren't leaving ourselves too much to do in the second half again. So, like Everton, we didn't do it. In other games, we have done it. So, and we did do it. So what we had, again, 70% possession in the second half, 1.89 XG to Palace's 0.09, and they still get a goal. Again, what is it like? Maximum punishment for just like so little attacking threat again, and that just seems to be the way, and we always seem to have to score 3 goals to win a game. So in 50, the first chance that we had to score, and we should really have scored, was in the 50th minute. A great ball across the sort of the corridor of uncertainty, as they call it in cricket and then in football, by KT, and then Sterling misses twice at the back post. The first one is well saved, by Henderson, but it didn't have a huge amount of conviction, and then an instinctive shot hits the crossbar from Sterling. So really, we should have got back in then. We didn't. Marino then in the 51st has a shot from the edge of the box, which went wide, but good to see, taking a shot, and I think he had a couple of shots and so on, and then we get our first Jesus goal. And it was great play and pass by Odegaard, like cutting through 5 or 6 Palace players. It was just sort of a beautiful pass to Jesus, who was playing on the shoulder of, I think it was Chalobah on the edge of the box. He sort of took it around the defender, and I think the defender went into ground early, which helped Jesus. I think if the defender had stayed up, it would have made it harder, but he went down, and so that left it 1-on-1, and a beautiful little dink finish. And it was a finish of a man actually in form and in confidence. I was so surprised. And then from my angle, I didn't realise how easily it had gone in, but I thought, oh my God, there's a chance for the defender to clear it off. But it was well over the line by the time defender there, and it was 1-1. So a lovely goal all round.
Oh yeah, I couldn't stop laughing today because I couldn't wait to talk about as it turned out, it was non-existent. So during that goal, I thought that when Jesus first took the ball into the box, I thought that he got a little touch on the ball before he dinked it. So as you said, the defender went to ground real easy. I thought Jesus got a lovely little deft touch, and I was going to talk about that. And then I just saw somebody put up a clip of the goal from from behind, like, well, we're looking down the Crystal Palace goal, and you could see clearly that he didn't touch the ball at all. It was really poor by the Palace defender in the end. But yeah, I'm glad I saw that clip, because I was about to wax lyrical about a non-existent touch.
No, but
yeah,
he did well.
He did.
He did, and then in the 63rd minute, he had a shot from close range. Good run. He made a good run, which was found by Trossard. A bit too close to the keeper, so it's just well saved. And then the next layer of substitutes came on. So Tierney and Sterling off, and MLS and Saka on, just to add more depth to the team and add more firepower. And then very soon after, and it was Saka 2-1 Jesus. So again, nice play between Saka, Odegaard, and Timber on the right hand side. Saka played the ball in behind. Again, Jesus running off the shoulder, and he struck it superbly. Sort of paused for thought and then hit it superbly into the side netting, and 2-1. And I think, had this been the Prem and VAR was there, I think it would have likely been. I think his feet were in line, but his shoulder may have been offside, so lightly given offside. But these are the breaks, and maybe sometimes it's about time something went our way from that sort of perspective. I think Jesus. Yes, indeed, amen. He's Jesus, and he was cutting a fine line all game in terms of running off the shoulder, and there was a few times that you just got to pause it. So anyway, so I think the fact that there was no VAR worked in our favour this one. I don't think the Palace players were complaining. And then in a way, if offsides were more like this on both sides, I'd be happy with it. I think with offside, you've got to, pardon the pun, draw the line somewhere. But I know this sort of, if there's clear daylight, at least that's more of an advantage than like just being quick off the shoulder. So anyway, it fell our way 2-1, and I think we were not quite in cruise control, but we were in command because of Palace weren't offering anything. And actually, I said they were making themselves weaker. They were taking their own players off. They took off Mateta and brought on Eddie. I hated to say if you were on the face value was making him weaker. I think if I was going to choose one of the two, then I'd keep Mateta over Eddie. I mean, Eddie then goes and scores a great header. But yeah, then they had to start making some changes, and we just got better. And then Jesus in the 80th minute gets his hat-trick goal. Palace was like throwing players forward. Odegaard picks up the ball in the middle of our own half, and then plays a lovely ball through to Jesus on the halfway line. And as I said, he's got loads of space to run into, so much time to think about it. But this time, I think we were confident he was going to score. Were you confident he was going to score?
In that moment, yeah, because he'd gotten the other two. If it was 0-0 or still 1-0 to Palace at that point, and he ran through, I probably wouldn't have even watched because I wouldn't have had a lot of confidence. But after, because somebody put up a side by side clip of the second and third goals, the finishes, and they're almost identical. They're like, it's the exact same goal finish wise, and so yeah, I did feel confident at that point, but that was because he had the two before that. Yeah, three emphatic finishes. Well, two emphatic finishes and one beautiful little confidence dink.
Yeah,
brilliant.
No, it was nice. It was nice to see. So yeah, so that it was good. And again, the noise in the crowd again. Strangely enough, when you're scoring and you're winning, the crowd gets behind you and so on. But it was good to see. I think good for him. Look, I'm sure he tries his hardest. He's working hard. The execution is maybe not there. There's maybe it's everyone deals with challenges differently, and he's struggling a bit, and you just need something to go your way. But he made it happen for him. And I think his all round play was pretty good. But this is what confidence does for you. Was it Wenger used to say, you go, confident goes up the stairs, but then goes down the elevator. So it's just so much harder to build it back up. And so yeah, let's see what happens. It's a start. It's a start. So we'll see what happens. In over the next few weeks, and then well, we thought, oh, job done, nice and easy. We'll 3-1, blah 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 blah. We'll win, and then I don't know where this came from. I've never seen this before from Nketiah. Where on earth did this come from? Like, oh my, yeah, this is so un-Eddie like. So a nice cross from far right, and Eddie Nketiah with a unstoppable header. The keeper, no chance. My only gripe is, I think Saliba thought it was Eddie. He's got no chance, and didn't even challenge for Eddie. Eddie's not going to score. And is that how Saliba sounds?
Was that your French accent?
I think it's more Monty Python French accent than Saliba, but
I love that. Love that.
Yeah, but yeah. So Saliba, didn't think the English Knigget was going to score, and then yeah, he does great header. I think we could have done better, but not knocking that. And I think that's the perfect goal. So Eddie comes on, gets a goal. We can all patronise Eddie and give him a nice little applause, but you didn't win, so it ends up being meaningless. So, but were you as shocked as I was?
Yeah, I was. When I saw the header, I was like, he might actually get on this, because it just went over Kivior's head and Saliba wasn't in position. But like Saliba, I never thought for a second that he was going to head it into the back of the net. This is completely unimportant. But what do you think Eddie meant by the tapping on his watch? Did he used to do that celebration with us? Like, what was that all about? Not that it matters.
No, I think we've still got time to get back into this. He used to do the telephone, the telephone thing.
Do you think it was as late as we've got time?
Yeah. We got time to get back in it, because I think at 90, if it's a draw, then it goes straight to pens. So and again, a bit of nerves come in and so on. But actually, not a lot happened. I think we managed it very well. Gabriel came on, just a bit of added security. I think we managed it well. And then the only last nervy bit was there was a corner in the 94th minute, but then Raya did really well to come and punch that away, and then pretty much ended the game. So even though it could have been a bit nervy, I didn't feel it was not like they were bombarding us and so on. So I think we were good. So job done. Game over. So in terms of how we thought the players rated and how they do, just for the benefit of the listeners, that in terms of where we start our ratings, an average game is a 6.5, and then it's basically up or down from there. So I'll start with Raya. I gave him maybe a generous 6.5. A couple of saves, nothing difficult. I think he made some nice passes, out from the back, just finding sort of like when it was under pressure to find the likes of Jorginho, etc. That good clearance at the end. Maybe could have done better with the goal. So, but 6.5 for me. What about you?
I have exactly the same, 6.5. Again, nothing further to add. You hit the nail on the head.
Okay, Tierney.
Tierney, I gave a 7.5. I was really impressed by him. I really liked his energy. He brought something different to that left back spot, and he's just so likeable, and he's a great attitude throughout all the time he's been injured. He's been getting a bit of flack from the fans, but he's never complained. He's never moaned. He just got on with it. But for this game, I loved him. 7.5.
No, very good. I gave him a 7. Timber. 6.5, okay at centre back. He seemed to crowd the space with Partey. So I think the combination of Timber and Partey just didn't work. There's something that if they were going to do that again, they'd have to work on the training ground, because they were just in each other's way. So much more impactful at right back, made a big difference. It was part of the reason why we came back into it. But overall, 6.5.
Well, I actually gave him a 7.5, but it was mainly down to the second half. I think we'll put it this way: you've rated him for the first half. My rating is for the second half. I thought, along with Odegaard, I thought he just completely transformed the game. I thought his link-up play was great, and he was very lively down that right hand side. I went 7.5.
Okay, very good. That's fine.
Kivior, I went with 6.5, maybe a little bit generous. He's my boy. I gave him the extra half a point, but it was a terrible mistake. It wasn't pretty, as we spoke about, but other than that, I thought he was okay. I thought he was all right, but I went 6.5.
Yeah, I got a 6. He recovered. I think twice. I think from balls over the top, he sort of struggled a bit, but I think he recovered well. He can certainly pass. did well, but only a six for me. Okay, Partey, a six. Okay at right back. It's not his position, so it's hard to criticise too much. He does a great job filling in, but we always lose something when he's there. Either lose his presence in midfield or lose something down the right hand side. I said him and Timber didn't work together, so I just gave him a six because it wasn't really much on offer.
Yeah, I gave him a 6.5. He was okay. I just don't like him at right back. He does a decent job, and it's great that he's available to play there. But I just much prefer him, as you say, in centre midfield. He's so much better for us there. By the way, just to say, Spurs have gone 1-0 up in the game tonight against Man United.
Oh yeah, who do you want to win that game? Man United or Spurs?
I want 22 injuries, but if I was to pick one, I'd probably have to go Man United. It has to be. You can never want Spurs to win, but it would be nice to beat them in the final and break their hearts.
I've got a sneak. I know we're off track. I've got a sneaky suspicion they might win the bloody thing. I don't know why. I just
do not say
it. It's a horrible feeling that I've got. And I'd rather play Man United. I think we can beat Man United home and away. Spurs is just that added extra. Just meh. But anyway, we'll come to that in a bit. Okay, so right, Marino. What do you do for Marino?
Marino, I gave a 6.5. He played well in parts. Like, he didn't stand out, but he didn't do anything wrong. He was energetic. He took a few shots as well, and he drove us forward. He's doing he's not pulling up trees, but he's doing a solid job.
Yeah, for me, he looked energetic. I said took a couple of shots, was driving us forward, but there's still no. I like him. But then again. So basically, I want to see the good in him, but other people may point out the fact that he only got 68% passing accuracy, which from the left eight I don't think that's good enough. And he's not quite the dual monster yet that we're sold. Now, maybe that's different on the continent versus here, but he's aerial duels. He only won 55%, so 6 out of 11. Ground duels was better, 4 out of 5. But that dual monster that we were sold is still needs to evolve. Now, that may be a difference between the Premiership and Spain, but just something to keep an eye on. So next up, Jorginho. Now, I gave him a 7.5, and I really, really liked his performance. I don't know, he really stood out for me, even in the first half. He was always there, always available. He was dictating things, just so secure in the ball, and I was liking it to a comfort blanket. He's just it just seems to be no dramas, no worries, nothing spectacular, but you can really trust him, and a bit like Odegaard on the ball, but just one row back, So I really liked his performance. For me, I just kept on looking up. Oh, Jorginho's on the ball. And it was one of these performances that was one of these sort of. I don't know how you say it, but it was sort of like a hidden performance, or sort of like not spectacular, but just someone that was, you don't notice it, but if he wasn't there, you would notice it.
Yeah, he's the oil that keeps the engine ticking over. Like, yeah, you're right. There's a bit of Italian love going on there as well, I think, Tabs, is there?
There may be a bit of bias there, yes, indeed. Yeah. So, what did you give?
I gave him a 7. Could have easily been a 7.5. I thought exactly. I couldn't have put it better than you did. He was very good.
Very good. Okay, so Nwaneri.
Nwaneri, I gave a 6.5. Again, I said it earlier on, he didn't do anything wrong. We have to be so patient with him, remembering that he's going up against these kind of Premier League monsters, like they're big guys. Palace are a big side, but he did well. He looked okay. I liked what he did.
No, I gave him a 6.5. But just that an extra level. I think he did well, an extra level up. But I think a lot of learning for all concerned, but in a good way. Okay, next up, Sterling. we may have a difference of opinion here. I only gave him a 6. I think he looked okay. He tried to offer something different. He looked a bit lively, chaotic, not the most structured. So I think it's a base for him to improve on, but he should have scored, and still not a huge amount of end product, either setting stuff up or whatever. So a busy performance, and maybe cannot unlock something, but you contrast that to what Jesus did. maybe he looks worse because of that. But yeah, I only gave him a 6.
You Scrooge, a 6.
Yeah.
No, I see where you come from. I gave him a 7. I was impressed. Now maybe I'm giving him a 7 in hope that he kicks on from this. But I thought he was very lively. I thought he caused them some problems. Of course, he should have scored, especially that second chance. And I noticed that he was doing a little bit more defensively. There was a couple of times where he went back to help out, like he was in the right back position, and he's holding players off, and again didn't pull up trees. But I thought I gave him a 7. I thought he was much improved. You're on mute.
I am indeed. Jesus.
Jesus, the man of the moment, our hat-trick hero, I gave him an 8.5. He took his first goal so well, and as you said earlier on, you hit the nail on the head again, that it was the finish of a man he was full of confidence, even though we know he hasn't been. We got a little glimpse of this when we played Monaco at home, but he didn't get his goal, so it was just an unbelievable performance from him, second half especially. And let's go, Jesus. Let's keep doing this. And I'm much more enthusiastic now about the rest of his season. Like, we were selling him in January. If the fans had their way, we were selling them in January, and now we might have just found something. So let's go.
Well, I'm not going to get carried away. Could you say we found Jesus? I don't know. But 5 shots, 3 goals, looked lively, making runs. Maybe we only play him on a Wednesday. I don't know, because he seemed to played well against Monaco. He played well against Preston North End. He played well against Palace. Maybe he's a midweek player, under the lights. So let's just see. I gave him 8.5. So yeah, all good there. Trossard, I gave a 7. I said he seemed to benefit with Tierney being on the outside of him on the left. Came sit inside, tried to affect play more from the middle. A bit like that shot he had in the first half. So nicely, energetic. I think, and first and second half, I think he was one of the better players. But a 7 for me.
Yeah, I gave him a 7 for the exact same reasons, and nothing further to add.
Okay. Odegaard.
What a guy. We wax lyrical about him all the time. I gave him an 8. He came on and he just showed us Odegaard things. He played his game. The balls he was playing were just sensational. The ball into Jesus. He can see a pass a mile away, and he just made the difference. Like, in 45 minutes, he only for Jesus' hat-trick, he would have been probably man of the match. And an 8 for me.
Yeah, no, ditto. He in the second half, he provided 2 assists, created 4 chances, completed 2 of 2 dribbles, and had 42 touches. So yeah, he was the difference maker. So he was great. Okay, next up, a couple of substitutes. So it's Saliba. I gave 6.5. For me, just enabled Timber to do his job. I think he should have done better for the Eddie goal, but was just doing Saliba things.
Yeah, I gave him a 7. I just thought he shored us up. You're right about the Eddie goal. Could have done better, but he just makes us so much more solid, I think. So yeah, he was very good when he came on.
Better. Okay, Saka.
I gave a 7. He was very lively. He did very, very well. And again, it was another part of why we got stronger. He had an assist as well. So yeah, maybe I should upgrade, but I'll stick with my 7. He did well.
Yeah, I did 7.5. Just I did 0.5 because of the assist, and he linked well with Jesus and Odegaard. A nice cameo. There we go, a nice cameo. And then we got MLS and Gabriel. So MLS 6.5 came on for Tierney, got booked. I think he just stayed. He didn't invert as much as he has done in the past. I think he was letting Timber do that. So just a fairly basic performance. And Gabriel a 6. He was only on for a few minutes, so just a 6. What about you for MLS and Gabriel?
Yeah, the same. I gave MLS 6.5. I'm not going to go too hard on him. I was a little bit annoyed with the booking because it was very reminiscent. I've spoken on the podcast before, and I don't want to bring it up again, but I'm going to have to about Zinchenko messing around at the left back spot against Fulham at home last season against 10 men, and the ball rolled to MLS in the same. exact same position. It was in the 90th minute, and all he had to do was just lump it, just get rid. We were 3-2 up, and he dilly dallied to get on the ball, lost it, and then got his booking. Now, thankfully, it didn't cost us a goal in any way, shape, or form, but. I just got the heebie-jeebies in it because I know MLS is much better than that. But other than that, I thought he did well. I gave him a 6.5. Just the booking annoyed me and how it happened.
Yeah, no, understandable. Okay, so player of the match might be an easy one. This one,
yeah, I gave it to Kivior. No, I didn't. I gave it to the one and only Gabriel Jesus. Had to be a hat trick, lively performance, magic.
Yeah, the miracle at Christmas. Yeah, Jesus and plonker of the match.
Plonker of the match, I gave to Chalobah for doing that thing that all players do when they they have a player behind them and they're kind of backing into them, and then they just fall even though like nothing's going on. And I was so happy that the referee I'm giving the plonker of the match because when he fell, even though he wasn't fouled, and then he grabbed the ball thinking he was getting a free kick, and the referee gave a handball. I was like, excellent, fair play to you, referee. So he was my plonker of the match.
Good stuff. I gave it to Sterling just because of those two misses in the second half. So he should have scored there. So maybe a bit of a harsh one, but no, he should have scored, and it could have done him the world of good. But then he scores, and Jesus doesn't get his hat trick. So who knows? Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. It was meant to be. So look, we're now through to the semi-finals. Did we want that? Yes. I think we said at the beginning. Yeah, it was good for morale. Good for the team, good for Jesus, good for Sterling in parts. So we wanted the result, but do you want the consequences? Because now you're going to be going up against a tough semi-final opponent, no matter who you get. You got Liverpool, Newcastle, and then Man United or Spurs. Who would you want actually in the semi if you had to choose?
Well, I posted on the socials today. I have a Carabao Cup prediction. It came to me in a dream. It's not going to plan actually with Spurs being 1-0 up. But I said that the semi-finals would be Arsenal v Liverpool and Newcastle v Man United, and it would be an Arsenal Newcastle final. This is more out of hope than anticipation, and we beat Newcastle. But to be honest. You'd probably the obvious answer is you'd say Newcastle, because I think even though it'd be tough up there, we should kind of turn them over at home. And Man United, you could probably say the same as well. But Liverpool is probably the hardest one. But what about you? Who do you prefer to get?
The thing is, if you get through one, you got the other in the final. So I don't know. To get to the final, So maybe Man U, I think we're good against teams with three at the back. They play three at the back. A bit like Palace, just they three at the back. Sporting three at the back. I think of the teams. Yeah, I think there'll be the less. Going away to Newcastle is not the same as going away to Man United. Spurs, it's a derby. Anything can happen. Liverpool's tough, so I'd go Man U. I'd like a Man U Newcastle combination, semi then final. So, but we'll see. As I said, I've got a sneaky suspicion about Spurs, but we won't go there. But look, the reason why I said did we want this, because 1st of January we play Brentford away. 4th of January we play Brighton away. So that's Wednesday, Saturday. And then on the Tuesday or the Wednesday, we've got the first leg of the first leg semi-final. Then we play Man United in the Cup on the 11th. Then we've got Tottenham midweek on the 14th. Then Villa at home on the 16th on the Saturday. Then we've got Champions League. Okay, Zagreb, so hopefully win that, and that's us done. Then we've got Wolves away. Then we've got Girona. And then we've got Man City. And then we've got a Carabao Cup semi-final, second leg after Man City. So, one, we really have to get to top 8 of the Champions League, because then you've got to fit in a game on the 31st of January. This is going to be a tough couple of games in the middle of a very congested fixture. So, look, if you're going to be successful, you've got to play these games. Liverpool have done it. City have done it. If we've got a fit team, we can do it. It's just that I think we get a bit anxious and stuff like that. So I don't know, how does that make you feel listening to, Brighton, then Carabao, then Man United, then Tottenham, then Villa, then Zagreb, then Wolves, then Girona, then City, and then the second leg of the semi-final?
It doesn't. It worries me, obviously, but it would be okay, and there's no such thing as an ideal world. It never happens. But if we had a fully fit squad, or like, even a 95% fully fit squad throughout that period, you'd say bring it on. Like, yeah, let's bring it on. But we don't get that kind of luck. And knowing our luck, we'll probably get, like, we'll have an away game at Anfield. We'll probably more likely, knowing our luck in draws and cups in general, we'll probably end up away to Liverpool straight after we play City or something like that. But it's not like impossible, as you said. Liverpool did it. Liverpool played every game of was it not last season or the season before? They literally played every game available to them. They got to all the finals. And to be fair, what did they end up with? Was it 2 cups or was it 1 cup? I can't remember.
I can't remember. Yeah, but they weren't as successful as they could have been. But I think they lost Champions League final. They lost out on the Prem. I don't think they won the FA Cup. So I think they just won the
Carabao Cup. Yeah, so you don't want a situation like that. But this is what, as you say, this is what top flight football is all about, and clubs like Arsenal have to prepare for this. It's just we need a stroke of luck in terms of the squad and injuries.
Yeah, and who we play as well, in terms of, like, hopefully they all get nobbled. So look, let's just see. This is as I said, the joys of being successful. It's going to be tough, but hey, let's enjoy it. I'd rather be in the semi than not, in a way. Now we're here, right? We've got to go and win it.
Yeah.
But before we get there, a long way before we get there, we've got this Saturday coming up, and we have got Palace again. This time at Selhurst Park. So the second leg of I'm not even going to. I don't even know where I was going to go with that one. But anyway, so we're playing Palace away in the league. So what are you looking forward to? Not looking forward to about the game?
I'm looking forward to another Jesus hat-trick. I think it's written in the stars now. Just stick your house on it. Get the mortgage out and place the bet. No, I'm looking forward to hopefully silencing what will be a very lively Selhurst Park crowd. I'm looking forward to seeing the lineup as well. See who we put out after what happened in the last one. And what I'm not looking forward to is the Eddie hat-trick now. What am I not looking forward to? Just any fallout from this game in terms of injuries. Again, my biggest fear for this season is just not having players fit. And I've one eye on Declan Rice. He wasn't in the squad. Maybe he was just completely rested, but we know he came off injured against Everton. I've one eye on that, because that'd be a big blow not to have him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing us carry on momentum from this game. I think the positive feeling, the positive vibes, the fact that we eventually beat Palace with, still not our strongest team, and we held them. So I think it's never. So I'd like to see us continue the momentum into that. In terms of not looking forward to it, it's always a good atmosphere at Palace. It's always it's a difficult, tricky game. But I think if you get the lead and stamp your authority on the game, then they can quieten down. So it's I think we do okay there. We won there last season 1-0. We beat them at home 5-0. So we're the better team. Look, okay, Palace are 15th in the league now. They're 15th in the league for a reason. Granted, actually, my fear last night was that they've actually, in the league, they've only lost once in their last 8 league games, and they did an impressive 3-1 away win against Brighton. They drew 2-2 against Man City. They drew 1-1 against Newcastle. They've beaten Tottenham in the last few games. So actually, the only loss they've had is against Fulham at home. They drew 2-2 with Villa away. So, they in the league, they've come into a bit of form, and cup games and league games are different, so mentality is a bit different. So I wouldn't expect the same sort of performance as they had yesterday. They're going to have to be more offensive, more on the front foot. So maybe that suits us better. But again, does it? Because anytime anyone goes anywhere near our goal, they let in a goal. We let in a goal, and not because we're rubbish at defending, just because everyone just seems to be getting maximum reward for just look at our goal and it's going to be 1-0. So let's I think it's going to be tricky. In terms of lineup, I think Havertz will start over Jesus, but Jesus could be a good option. I think maybe Odegaard, Marino, Rice. Don't know, maybe because of that ground. I mean, maybe Rice might be rest. If he is injured, then Partey, that's fine. Nelly over Trossard. I think Trossard will start given the performance he had yesterday. And defence, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, and left back MLS maybe, unless Calafiori's come back fit, but I don't think he'll come straight into that game. So
No. There was
so we'll
talk
see.
of,
I
there was
think
talk
there's a
of
couple of
Calafiori
positions.
being available for last night. Sorry, and that he was going to be fit for last.
Yeah, there was, and then but he wasn't even on the bench. So
No.
I think that was just. I think maybe
Just
there's
rumours.
hopeful speculation. Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting. I think there'll be one or two places again. Nelly versus Trossard, Rice, Partey, Marino. What combination there, and then left back. MLS, or does he go for someone stronger? Well, I was going to say stronger and bigger, like Kivior. Yes. Well, we'll see. So, so we'll see. Yeah. So look, we've seen what they got to offer. Mateta's a unit up front. Sarr can be trouble. I think Eze was fairly quiet. So their keeper's pretty good. I think suspension wise, Munoz, who's been playing quite well, he scored a couple of goals. He's suspended, and there's still Adam Wharton still injured. So I don't know. So yeah, we both had a look at each other. We both know which each other offers. We know the strengths and weaknesses. If we're on our game, we have to win it. Tottenham is Tottenham Liverpool this weekend, so we have to try and capitalize on any slip ups there. So it's another, we've got to go in and do our job. And again, they come into some form, but we are the better team. So let's just see.
And we've dealt them a little bit of a psychological blow there as well last night. Our essentially our in the first half, our second team. Obviously we had to bring big guns on, but essentially our second team beat them. So I beat their first team. It was a little bit of a psychological edge.
Yeah, so I think it'll be close, but I think we'll do it. So what's your prediction?
I'm going to go with the same prediction I had for last night. I'm going to go with 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah. I got a feeling. Yes, same. Maybe 2-0. Then we let one in, and it's going to be a nervy finish. So yeah, I think 2-1. Yeah, I think I had predicted 2-0 last night. You predicted 2-1. So yeah, not quite spot on, but yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. It's I said they're on a run of form. We need to pick up form in the Prem. I think the cup game will help. Different kettle of fish, different intensity, away from home. Yeah, it'll be again another Saturday evening kickoff for everyone in the UK. So let's see. So look, thank you, Ian, for that. That was a fun one to talk through. I think the Carabao Cup games are always, especially when you have games when you do well and there's something different story, then I think it's always nice to chat about them. So good to get your thoughts on that, and we'll be back post Palace on Sunday. We may have a special guest if we can organise it, and if he can get his A into G. So we'll see, but won't say anything too much until then. Where can people find you?
People can find me on all the social media platforms at ArsCannonPicks. And yeah, it was great to chat. I really enjoyed that. Great to get a win under the belt. And yeah, let's go.
Let's go again. And you can follow us on Threads and Blue Sky at The Grove AFC, etc., etc. And that just leaves me to say thank you, Ian.
You're very welcome, Tabs. Always a pleasure.
Never a pain. And until the next time, come on, you Gunners.